As promised, it's Dr. Shelley with 2025 Money Matters for Nurses, and the title of the video today is The Four Walls. As you may recall, every Sunday we're coming at you with Money Matters for Nurses. I've taught this for years, and I decided to make it a Sunday event, and I think it will help you tremendously, nurses. So listen, this video called The Four Walls is basically making sure that you know how to take care of the four walls before you do anything else. And I know it sounds crazy, but there are people who actually do not prioritize the four walls, which include housing, food, utilities, and your car or transportation. They do not prioritize those four walls. They prioritize FICO scores, medical bills, vacations. I'm not gonna judge, because when I was a nursing student and I wasn't really paying attention to nothing, I was just doing me. We were about to go to Cedar Point one day and my car was repoed by 4 a.m. So I'm telling you, this kind of stuff actually happens. So nurses, here we go. It's not just about the four walls, but it's about how to save money or spend wisely on the four walls. What to do, what not to do, how to do it. And I think you will find this extremely beneficial, because what? Knowledge is power. Here we go. Let's start with housing. It's the highest priority. And before you get your self thinking about all homeless people are probably psychotic or mental health patients, or people who are alcoholic or on drugs. And yeah, that may be part of it, a very small part of it. No, homeless in 2025 looks just like you and me, because either a layoff or disability, an injury, a problem, something in the family goes crazy, and the prioritizing of the four walls was not done. And so the home was lost. I saw this a lot in 2007, 2008 during the housing crisis. Had I not set myself up the way I should, I would have been part of those people, because due to mortgage fraud, my mortgage on a fixed rate went from $1,200 a month for my home to $2,300 illegally, I might add. Yeah, fraud. And, you know, had I not set myself up in sort of a particular way, I would have lost my home. So I'm just trying to get you to be really conscientious about how to spend and manage money wisely, because we're going to be rich. Yes, there's no reason why any nurse that I talk to today can't be a millionaire within 12 years or more. Just saying. So here we go. Housing. Whether or not you rent or own, you must understand that 25 to 30% of your take-home pay is how you should budget for housing. Let me put that in numbers. If you look at the average nurse, and yes, I did include LPN and RN, I just kind of squished it together, because quiet as is kept, RNs, LPNs make about as much as you. So if you look at the average nurse in Northeast Ohio, and you're going to have to look up the average nurse salary for your state, but if you just look at Northeast Ohio, the average nurse's take-home pay, take-home, is $2,500 to $5,000. In other words, $2,500 every 2 weeks, and if they get paid monthly, $5,000 a month. Now, if you think about the 25 to 30% take-home pay, the take-home pay of $5,000 a month means that your rent or housing should be no more than $1,250 to $1,500 a month. This is a big deal, because right now, affordable housing doesn't even exist. However, if you are renting, it will give you some kind of benchmark to kind of look forward to doing, to look forward to seeking where to live. Okay, so let me explain that. The average rent for Northeast Ohio for a 2-bedroom apartment is $1,584. And I checked with my daughter who lives out in Solon, and that's about right. And I will tell you, Solon is a great place to rent because it's the #1 school district. Duh, you want your kids to get the best. If you don't have children, you should just be staying at home. No, I'm just kidding. Well, not really, but I mean, if you're single with no kids, think about a roommate. Think about living at home a little longer. I know it sucks, believe me, but I'm sorry. These rents suck really bad. They're very bad. However, if you're a nurse, you should be looking at budgeting about $1,584 or round it up, $1,600 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Do not look towards buying your home too soon. Everything has changed in the housing market. If you buy too soon, you're going to lose it real fast. You just don't want to do that. The average mortgage payment, just to put that in perspective for you, the average mortgage payment for Northeast Ohio is $2,167. Now, that's why I'm a firm believer in marriage, because if you're married, the whole game changes. And I have been married 17 times, so I think I could speak on it. In other words, if you're a dual income family, then this is just your portion of what you should be kind of budgeting for. This partner of yours has got to look at their income and you decide together. Now notice I don't agree with buying a home and you're not married. That's insane and always going to end very ugly. Just saying, it's really bad, okay? So don't do that. That's just messy, okay? All right, now let's look at some other things about the housing issue. Again, don't buy too soon. I tell you guys, when you're a nurse, you just graduated or whatever, maybe 3 to 5 years, unless you're with someone, then maybe 2 years. But if you're a single parent, 2 to 5 years is perfect for your first house. Just bank, 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 bank a huge emergency fund, because it's no fun buying a home and the roof goes out. Now, why are we saying slow down the buying? Well, the interest rates suck ass. Yeah, they do. Like the average interest rate right now is 6.8%. Basically, that sucks. Like mine for my house right now is 2%. My mortgage payment is $1,500. Yeah, I've been there a long time, but I'm just trying to help you understand why the interest rates need to come down a little bit more, okay? I don't like where they are right now. It really sucks, okay? So I'm telling you to bank, 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 and take your time. Let these interest rates come down. They are going to come down at least twice in 2025. That much I've been following the market, and this is what they tell us. When you look at the 4 walls and you consider housing, it must be the highest priority, and it also must be put on auto speed dial. In other words, never, never be late on this payment. Never come close to eviction. Never get behind in housing. If you can, have that come automatically out of your account so you don't think about it, and preferably in your direct deposit account that you have for your paycheck, okay? Now, when we are buying a house, don't forget, property insurance and taxes need to be included in that mortgage payment so that you don't screw that up. Do you know, I actually know people that did not do that, and they actually did not, unfortunately, just did not. I said did not have money for the taxes. You can lose your home for that alone. So just make it simple. Include the taxes and insurance in the payment when you're looking at your 25 to 30% allowance of take-home pay for your mortgage or rental payment. Again, the average rent in Northeast Ohio is $1,584 a month for a 2-bedroom, and the average cost of a mortgage in Northeast Ohio is $2,167. We are in a housing crisis. Those of us with 2% mortgage rates, interest rates, I'm sorry, those of us like myself with 2 and 3% mortgage rates, we don't want to sell our house. We love our mortgage rates. We might want a new house, but we don't want a new mortgage rate. Think about it. I'm at 2%. I don't want to go up to 7% or whatever. And don't forget that percent interest, that mortgage rate, that increases if you have bad credit, God forbid. So stay put if you're in a home, and then make sure you take into consideration some of these rules when you're looking for somewhere to live. Now, there are a bunch of beautiful places to either rent or buy. They're affordable neighborhoods in Northeast Ohio that all of us should be looking at and saying, oh, maybe I should look out there. Solon, Mayfield Heights, Wickliffe, Avon, Bay Village, what is it? Strongsville, there's a bunch. University Heights, let's see, South Euclid, Lyndhurst. There's so many areas where the schools are decent and your kids will get a great education. Twinsburg, I mean, just think about that. Really research the school district before you go. Even if you're single, research the school district before you buy, because that's what's going to determine how easy it is to sell and how wonderful the houses appreciate when you do buy them. In other words, if you buy your house at $153,000 one year, then 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, it'll probably be worth $300,000. It'll double, appreciate, go up in value, okay? Now, the next part of the four walls is food. Oh my God, what is happening with our society? We are Uber Eats and DoorDashing everything. And I know DoorDash or DoorPass has a $10 app, but the problem is you've got to spend at least $12. So now you're tacking on more that you really maybe would not have spent if you had just gone there. And don't forget your lattes and things of that nature. They're costing you a lot. So my warning to all of you is to get rid of Uber Eats and DoorDash if you are in this situation where you are feeling like you can't afford your bills. It may be as simple as you're eating your money up. I mean, I've seen things that could curl your hair with regards to food issues. DoorDash, Uber Eats, coffee shops, Starbucks at the workplace. You've got to look at how much you spent. It's ridiculous, okay? It's kind of like crazy. And it's not helping us because now we're a bunch of caffeine heads and we're eating processed foods and we're getting fatter because all that sugar goes straight to your belly and makes you very obese. Now you're at risk for cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. And I'm sorry, but I'm a nurse and I just got to go like that with you. So if you can, I need you to understand that the average person who has DoorDash or Uber Eats has $150 to $300 a month that they are spending on that situation. And some people are spending $150 to $300 a week because that's all they do. And I get why. I am not judging. Let me explain why. If you don't know why, maybe you are looking at it like me, like, what the fuck is going on? They're DoorDash and everything. I'll tell you why. Nurses work hard. They very often work nights. Very often they work nights and they work 2 jobs. Very often they work nights, they work 2 jobs, and they're going for their BSN because their job is making them go. Think about that. You have no time to cook, no desire to cook, no energy to cook, and you don't even have energy, time, or desire to go to the grocery store to get the food to cook. I get it. But at some point, you're going to need to kind of maybe think about how you can take one day off and prepare meals for a couple of days or buy something that you can heat up. I know, as bad as it sounds, that, you know, I'm encouraging you to buy frozen food. Sorry, Stouffer's worked for me when I was a nurse. It's a lot cheaper than DoorDashing your dish, your dinner, your lunch, your whatever. I mean, they're $3 a food, a thing. Go get it. Go get a bunch of them for 2 weeks or whatever you do. Let's budget the DoorDash. Okay, fine. You don't want to get rid of the app, but at least let's try to budget the DoorDash. Like, I'm allowed DoorDash on the weekends. That's it, Shelly. I'm going to cut it down. You yelled at me and I'm going to cut it down. I'm allowed to do this shit on the weekends. Something, because you guys you're DoorDashing your home mortgage. You're DoorDashing your your rental, you're door dashing everything. You're door dashing your future away. And then it's making us really obese because we're not getting up. We're just getting to the door and opening it and getting our DoorDash. Get up, get out, get over, get gone to the place to get your food, and let's go. Sorry. What kind of grocery stores are you shopping at? Because when you do go to the grocery store, you just go to the nearby Giant Eagle, Northeast Ohio. We have a Meijer's coming. I'm really excited and interested to see what this is going to bring in my neighborhood. I don't know if you guys live near a Meijer's, but somebody holler back at your girl if it's a good grocery store. Because right now, I'm very methodical because, you know, I like my money and I like to make a lot of money and I like to kind of keep my money and make sure that I'm comfortable so that when my job acts like an asshole, I can say fuck you and mean it. Because when you are in debt or when you don't have money or when you can't just say, you know, screw you, I don't need this job. When you don't do that, can't do that, won't do that, you are under pressure, depression, anxiety, and stress because you know you have to put up with BS at your job to make your bills. Just saying. So Trader Joe's is my favorite place to shop. Aldi's, which is just like Trader Joe's, great place to shop, and then Mark's. And I'm talking Northeast Ohio, so if you got some good suggestions, you let me know. I will write them down. We will throw them out so everybody in the country knows. Stop going to these expensive grocery stores. And your pharmacy, if you have a medication prescription, shop around for that as well, because I have seen 4 different prices quoted on medications at 4 different pharmacies. And get this, medication differed as much as $50 with 2 pharmacies in 2 different neighborhoods, and the 2 pharmacies were the same pharmacy. Rite Aid is an example. The Rite Aid down the way had Januvia for some outrageous price. And then if you go across the neighborhood to the west side, the damn thing was half the price. Same Rite Aid. So shop around for the best grocery store. Shop around for the best pharmacy to get your food and your medication. Costco and Sam's. I have no problem with that. I have a Sam's card. I'm about to get a Costco card. Costco, you know why. And anybody watching me and knows me knows why. Costco about to be my best friend. Yeah, that's a separate video. But whichever one you have, or if you have both, great. If you do have the desire to go to Costco or Sam's, I don't really go there to shop because I'm by myself and those big, huge box types of things, I don't need any of that. But if you do, make sure that you take advantage of their amazing costs. And then don't just think of food. Make sure you know, like at Sam's Club, the computers, the laptops are more affordable there. I would never get a laptop anywhere but Sam's Club or Costco. Everything really. So be careful, but you know, really pay attention. Now, for Costco or Sam's, here's what's funny. I've seen married couples or just couples in general. They both have a Sam's and they both have a Costco. You only need 1 membership, honey. One of y'all need to get rid of that. It's kind of like with Netflix. Which one of us gonna get rid of this account so we can do our thing, okay? Yeah, no, just saying. Make sure when you go to the grocery store for food, you go every single week, same day, same time, or every 2 weeks, same day, same time. Get in the habit of going after you eat. You already know if you're hungry, you're buying up the fucking store. You know this. I know this. It's really bad. Try to make a list and stick to it. Common sense, but we don't all do it. Make the list, try to stick to it. Here's the last tip. When you come home, check the list. Did you stick to it or do you have a bunch of other stuff in the cart? That's okay, just aim to do better next time. Spend cash. Stop using debit card. Budget cash for the grocery store. I've done it for years. It works really well. When I don't have any more money, I can't buy whatever it is in that cart. Think to yourself, families and nurses, think up to, because most people don't know how much they should be spending on food. It's kind of like one of those weird things. And you may need to adjust this depending on your family's needs. You might have a newborn with, you know, formula cost or whatever. But think about it like this. Up to $300 per person per month. So if you have a family of 4, an average amount to spend at the grocery store per month is $1,200. If it's just yo crazy behind by yourself, then the average cost is $300. And I stick to that cost. I mean, I don't even really think of it because I get the same thing every week or so. And I go to Trader Joe's every single Sunday, okay? And when I go, or every other Sunday, just depends, you know, maybe I'm gone, out of town or whatever. But when I go to Trader Joe's every 2 weeks or every week, I promise you, I just don't spend any more than $300 a month on me. I just don't. And I take my lunch. Hello. Now, if that doesn't work for you, then at least start thinking about it like this. If you're in debt and you're listening to me because you fucked up some money like I have, like you guys would not believe. I mean, car repo. The only thing I've never done is a foreclosure, right? Or eviction, like I told you. No, I'm not doing that. But I have filed bankruptcy a couple times. I have had a car repoed. I have had utilities turned off. I have had it where I was almost in trouble with the rent. I mean, I've done these things. I've been to paycheck, what is it called? Paycheck lending. What's the loan? Payday loan. Payday loans. I've done that too. I pawn jewelry. Honey, I am not perfect. Except for the last 20 years, I've pretty much figured it out. Okay? Because I'm a Dave Ramsey girl, so I kind of really know how to help you help your family. All right, so now listen, no more than 15% take home pay. There's that phrase again. No more than 15% of your take home pay should be for groceries. So, you know, just kind of think of it like that so you don't overspend on groceries, especially if you are in a situation where you're stressed about money. If you're not stressed about money, go out here and act a fool. I don't care. It ain't nothing to me. Go. Why you even up in here with me today? You rich. All right. Now, utilities. I've got some tips here. I think these tips are really good because I'm almost positive you don't know them. We don't even think of them. I think if you're like me, you might have thought for years, you got to pay whatever the light bill says it is, period. Like, why are we talking about this? Oh no, honey, you have control over how much that damn light bill, gas bill, and on and on and on is, okay? Let me tell you a few things that I have done and friends of mine have told me and my experts in the field have shared. Here we go. Unplug shit you're not using, okay? Yeah, unplug, okay? Don't leave anything plugged in that you know you're not using. You know, maybe, for example, you don't use a you don't use a toaster every day, then unplug it. I don't use an air fryer every day, then unplug it. I do use my coffee pot every single day. So instead of unplugging that, I make sure it's in a power strip. So power strips, and I just want to make sure you know what a power strip is. I have one here. Power strips look like this, and they have a bunch of plugs in them. They always have, let me just pull this out of the wall. This is a power strip. For class, it holds a bunch of phone cords. It has a little on and off switch, and it is wonderful. This is what your appliances and things should be plugged in, the ones you use all the time. You should just turn this off when you go to bed or when you leave the house. Either way, it doesn't matter. You've got to cut down on this power and it saves you money. Like, I'm for real. It saves you money on your bill. So honey, there's a way to save money on utilities, okay? Now, so you're going to get you a power strip, and those things that you don't even use every day, you're not even going to keep plugged in. That is a big money savings that I learned a long time ago. I was on Section 8 getting food stamps, honey, and that's what I saw on the news. Unplug or surge protector power strips. Now, you ain't going to believe this. Are you ready for this? Lots of things you use in your kitchen use up a ton of power, translated money. Let me explain. If you use the air fryer, it's 19 cents an hour. And you know, you're not going to put anything in there probably for a whole hour. Well, some things, I guess, but not much. Versus if you use the electric stove or the electric stove oven. The electric stove, top part of the stove, 25 cents an hour. The oven is 46 cents an hour. Now the crock pot is 13 cents per hour, but you use it for hours. Microwave is hardly anything per hour because who uses a microwave per hour? So microwave, air fry, that's the take home message. If you can get away with it, air fry as much as you can because it's cheaper on your electricity. I hope that helps. Fans versus air conditioning. Some of us live places like I do in Ohio, where there are plenty of days, if you're honest, that you didn't need to keep that air on. And you need to think about that every day you get up, or some of you are hilarious. You just don't believe in watching the news to catch the weather. I'm sorry, but I do. I want to know what the weather's going to be. I want to know if we're going to be running air conditioning all day, because here's the reality of the matter. Are you ready? Fans spend 2 to 3 cents an hour. Air conditioning spends 30 cents an hour. And if you're like me, you live by yourself, you're in full control of that. I live with my youngest daughter and her boyfriend, who are wonderful, but they decided that they wanted to put my air conditioning on something outrageous, and they weren't even there. In fact, they abused some of these little rules that I had so much that I did what I advise you to do. If you have teenagers that can't quite get it through their head to unplug, turn off lights, stop touching my freaking thermostat, then I suggest you have them pay the electric bill so you don't have to bitch about it anymore. That's what I did. It felt much better. In fact, I've never had hypertension, but if I did, it'd probably cut it in half because it makes me crazy. In other words, air conditioning is very expensive, and I'm talking central air here. And I do use it all summer long. I mean, I have a thyroid problem. Of course I use it. But I'm just saying, if there are days where a fan would be just as beneficial, use the fan. And if you don't have and you can get ceiling fans put in your home, bedrooms, all of them, ceiling fans. Kitchen, all of them, ceiling fans. Ceiling fan, you get a ceiling fan. I'm the Oprah Winfrey of ceiling fans. Everybody getting a fucking ceiling fan. Next is what I said earlier. Use your surge protector power strips. And then here's a nice treat for you that you won't believe saves so much money. In the winter time, we're cold, right? And I'm not gonna bury myself in 50 coats to go around my house and be comfortable. No, that's just not me. But then again, if I'm honest, when I remember working as much as I did when I was younger and maybe your age, I would get home and go right upstairs and go to bed because I was exhausted, especially after 12-hour shifts. On your way to bed, remember that you sleep better when it's a little bit cooler. So in the winter and fall and early spring, maybe you keep your heat on during the day, 70, 68. I don't know what you do. I know for me, when I'm going upstairs, because in my house it's warmer upstairs, I'm turning that mug down to 67 or sometimes 66 if it's not winter. When I get up, I'm about to go out the door real fast for many of the times when I get up, I'm on my way out the door to go to work. And if that's the case, I may crank it up, but I'm not really worried about it. So think about just 1 degree in terms of your heat. Maybe you like 72, try 71 on your way up to bed. See what you think. It's going to save you money. The same thing with air conditioning. If you are used to putting the air on, 72 when it's really hot outside, Try 73. It's gonna save you money. I know. And do it every month the closer you get to the change of the season. So if you know it's July, then do you, boo. It's hot. Do you. But in September, why is your air conditioning still on 70 or 68? That's ridiculous. In Northeast Ohio. You're going to have to decide how to manipulate that for where you live, but it's a money saver. Laundry. I think everybody does this anyway because the way the clothes are made and the detergents are made, it just works better. But you're washing on cold, right? You are, right? You're not going for what my washing machine does, which is a default to a second rinse. I don't need a second rinse. One rinse is enough. Oh my God. So cold water. I also don't use a real high spin cycle, right? When you're trying to spin, bring that down a little bit. That's a power saver. This is a little bit too much information, but I'm just trying to tell you what I do. I don't even really think about it. I think I just don't like the noise. I don't know. But if you're trying to save on water, tell everybody flush in the morning, not during the night. If you go to the bathroom during the night, put the seat down, see you in the morning, I'll flush in the morning. Now, if you take a shit, that's different. If you take a dump, flush every time, okay? Just don't be nasty. But you just sprinkled and tinkled, okay? Just flush it in the morning. It's going to be okay, especially if you live by yourself. If that's TMI, I'm sorry. I'm just telling you what I do. Okay. Now, car, right? We're on to car because we said the 4 walls. Housing, food, utilities, and the car. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the car. Here we go. Always take care of the 4 walls. The car must get you from point A to point B. You're a nurse. You work at night. You work crazy hours. You're a woman most of the time, not all the time. You don't need to be on the road dead. So first of all, your car needs to be a good car, right? Toyota, Honda, I don't care what your preference is, but I'm just trying to tell you what nurses drive. Toyotas, Hondas. We don't buy Kias and Hyundais because they fucking get stolen or broken into. So that's point 1, because some people don't know that. And I'm just trying to help you know that a Kia is going to be misery from minute 1. This car, please, no new cars, ladies and gentlemen. Stop it. Just cut it out. I haven't had a new car and I don't know when, and when I did, I didn't know any better. Yes, it felt good to drive that convertible off the showroom floor. Yes, I had multiple orgasms whenever I got into it and smelled that new car smell. Okay, and it wore off with every car payment. So I'm telling you to use common sense. A new car experienced 20% of depreciation when you rolled it off the showroom floor. 20% of its value disappeared the minute you took it from the dealership. If you have to finance a car, which I am very against, but if you have to, because you're human and you've got a lot going on and your money issues are real, if you have to finance a car, it better be a used car, 3 to 5 years of age, and it better be for no more than 4 years. You're a nurse. Make it happen. Okay? All right. This car, keep in mind, the typical price, $40,000 for this car. $40,000. That's what it is. $40,000 for a used or new car. Average is going to go down to $24,000 5 years from now. And to put this in perspective, I have owned 4 cars in my life. I am going to be 60. I don't lease. I never will. And it's a good thing because I've only had 4 cars and they've each lasted 15 to 20 years. The car that I have now was a 2013 and I bought it in 2016 with 65,000 miles on it. It now has well over 200,000 miles on it, and I'm pretty damn happy with my 4Runner truck. I don't have to shovel snow. I just roll over it no matter how many feet show up in my house, in my driveway. I can just roll over it. 4-wheel drive. It's a Toyota. I haven't had to do anything but buy tires and change the oil. That's it. Nothing else. Come on. Oy. Now, so no new cars. No new cars. Do you even need a car? You might not. Let me explain. My daughter went to Ohio State. She stayed right there on campus even after she left Ohio State. It was cheaper to Uber or do some type of public transportation than buy a car and gas every week. You might not need a car. I got that from y'all. Y'all young people are smart. You are teaching us, oh, maybe you don't need a car. Maybe it is overrated. Just saying, you might not need a car right now. Maybe you need to get up on top of these bills or do whatever you need to do to get less stress and feel better financially and then get a car. I don't know. I have to have a car, period. When you drive, oh yes, hunty, this is a big money saver. When you drive, in order to conserve your gas, you should be on that freeway with cruise control. Everywhere I go, if there's a freeway way to get there, I get there and I hook up my cruise control and I just coast all the way there. That allows me to put on my mascara. I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. You didn't hear that. Remember what I said earlier. Now, truth be told, I am by myself. I don't need to go to Costco or Sam's big box stores for food and groceries. Doesn't make sense for me, would be ridiculous. But I keep that Sam's or Costco card because out of the 30,000 bazillion visits that I did to Sam's Club last year, only 2 of them included going in the store. It was for the gas. The gas is really cheap. Now, don't be dingy. If you don't have a Sam's Club near your house and you are never, ever, ever by your Sam's or your Costco Club big store, you're never by there. You have one, it's miles away, but you're never, ever in that area, don't get a card. I have a very easy Sam's Club membership, Costco membership, because Costco is right near me and Sam's Club, and I fill up my gas tank every Sunday, is right near the Word Church, which is my church. So I come from the Word Church and I go to Sam's Club to fill up, or I come from my house or my business and I go right to Costco's. Again, just depends. Just depends on where you live and if that's going to work out for you. But by far, it's the cheapest gas in the world. Now, if you don't have Sam's or Costco and it's not near you, it's not beneficial, go ahead and get Gas Buddy app on your phone. And it's really nice when you travel because it'll tell you where the closest gas station is as well as the cheapest one in the neighborhood. Get your Gas Buddy, do your thing. Uh-oh, let's talk insurance. Yo, girl, I'm telling you, I used to be so, well, I still am. I was pretty ghetto, ratchet, okay? How ratchet and ghetto was I, or am I? Ratchet RN. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, simply put, I had my license suspended because I was driving around while I was in nursing school with no liability insurance. And I fell asleep studying muscles for anatomy and physiology. And I had a big old crash in which I ran into a tow truck and kind of did some damage. Could not afford to pay for it. They suspended my license. It's against the law to be rolling and rolling and rolling without insurance. So listen, I have the cheapest broker. You have to find a insurance broker in your neighborhood. An insurance company is not good enough. An insurance broker will look at all the insurance prices in your area and your jurisdiction, and they will always find you the cheapest. My insurance broker, which I highly recommend, her name is Terry. She's a sweetheart. The phone number is 440-446-1600. And again, her name is Terry. Terry always gives me the lowest insurance out there. She shops around every year And every year I get the cheapest. How do I know that it's the most affordable out there? Well, one time I had Dave Ramsey's little people that go around and help you figure out if you're getting the best deal. I've also been to Dave Ramsey's house. But one time I had Dave Ramsey's like people, I think they're called independent licensed somebody. But anyway, he has these people that come around and evaluate. They audit your insurance, your housing, your whatever. They try to see if you're being very much wise about what you choose to pay for in your insurance and your investments and whatever else. And they told me, you got the best. You cannot find cheaper or more reasonable insurance than what you have. So I felt good about that. So I always spread the love. Call Terry up at 440-446-1600. Tell her Dr. Shelly sent you, and I bet you get a little hookup. So that's the thing. Now, another piece of advice for helping you take care of the four walls is you're gonna need a good backyard mechanic. And to get this backyard mechanic, because you should never be taking your car to the dealership for services. No, not oil change, nothing. So to find a good backyard mechanic, you kind of got to network. I find the best of everything going right on Facebook or Instagram and simply asking around. And all of you guys are so wonderful. You tell me where to go and who to get and all that good stuff. So you need a good backyard mechanic because these dealerships are assholes. They will take you for everything you never had. Okay? Now, oil change. I thought I would include the oil change information in here because it has come across my mind that some of you still think when the light pops up in your car, you gotta go get an oil change, and that's bullshit. Here's what I mean by that. The maintenance light pops up every 3,000 miles. We all know and have known for at least 20 years. Are you waiting for this? You ready? Are you listening? We have always known for 20 years that your oil change can be every 6 months or 5,000 miles, whichever one comes first. And remember, my truck has over 200-some thousand miles on it, and it's running just fine because I do not change that oil every 3,000 miles. That's too much money. And when I do go to get my oil change, I don't go to no dealership. No, the best one, I researched it, was Valvoline. Ain't nobody paying me for that either. Okay, so every 6 months or every 5,000 miles. That maintenance light that got you running like a chicken with her head cut off to the nearest oil change place just got you for your money because you did not need to change that oil that fast. Okay? Try not to ever lease your car. If you have to do it because you own your company, that's different. Maybe you do all home care and you are an independent provider. I don't know. But unless that's you or you own your company, leasing is horrific. It is the worst way to get a car. As a matter of fact, what you don't hear, because nowadays, I don't know why, instead of asking what the car cost, everybody just wants to know how much per month. And when you lease a car, they don't tell you that the annual percentage rate is 14.2%. Now that's crazy. That's crazy, but that's what you're paying. Remember, I've owned 4 cars in my life, and you're leasing a new one every 3 years. You are paying out your ass because my cars were paid off and I still enjoyed them for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Just saying, stop leasing. Look it up. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. It's going to keep you in debt. Anyway, this was called The 4 Walls. I hope this helps you manage your money a little better, find places you can cut costs. The most important thing you can do is really look at your food budget to see where maybe some waste is going on. It's an individualized budget for food. Maybe DoorDash works for you, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but for the most part, I'm looking at a lot of young people. DoorDash and Uber Eats their whole future away. And when it's the inflationary cost nowadays of everything, and you figured that these foods that you're getting through DoorDash are typically very bad for you, you are eating your way into debt, and you're eating your way into obesity, and you're eating your way into cancer, and you could really make better decisions. And you know what? I get it if you are working 2 jobs and going to school, but maybe in your mind think this is very temporary. This whole DoorDash Uber Eats thing was supposed to be for the pandemic. I kind of didn't figure that out. I continued to do it, and it needs to stop. Yeah, it does. Deuces. Look for us in the next video. We're going to talk about the 100 envelope savings challenge because we got to get you an emergency fund.